Hey guys, Stephen McInday here from Perfect Balance Clinic, but today I'm actually here at Healthy and Wise with my friend Hemant.
Hey guys.
So one of the really common things that we see in clinic now is gluten sensitivity or gluten intolerances. So the two of them are very different from each other, but this isn't really to go into detail about the medical aspect of the two conditions, or certainly to talk about any of the conditions in detail. But if you've been diagnosed with gluten intolerance or gluten sensitivity, which is actually quite common now for many reasons, I think.
Yeah.
We're just having a discussion about the multiple factors that are related to this kind of gluten sensitivity, not intolerance. But if you've been diagnosed with these conditions, you're probably going to want to avoid gluten because you know as well as we do that is probably going to give you a very upset stomach and possibly give you conditions that you may be going to see an osteopath or physiotherapist for. So common conditions that people come in for to us to see that actually if we cut down the gluten or sometimes eradicate it altogether from their diet, could be anything from headaches or visual problems or disturbances to jaw ache or facial pain, or typically kind of more arthralgia, so joint pains in particular. They tend to be very common symptoms. I'm sure you've seen a lot of that.
We've seen a lot of that. Lack of energy is another key one, lack of focus. You know, we see a lot of that. Joint pains is again very high on the list with gluten intolerance.
So if you're suffering with some of these conditions, it may be worthwhile you going to see a specialist to get some information more about gluten intolerances and sensitivities to make sure that you have been tested or just have more information about it. You may even want to try and eradicate some gluten from your diet, or all gluten, because it is something that you need to try and cut it down or get it out of your diet completely.
Totally. I mean, if you've been diagnosed with any kind of gluten intolerance stroke gluten sensitivity, you should definitely avoid gluten at all costs. Yes, sometimes it may not be possible, but yeah, in the main, try and avoid it.
So if you wanted to try something at home, if you're suffering with some of these incurable conditions or some of these conditions that are a bit more difficult to treat, it may be something that's be worthwhile to look at some gluten-free products. That's gluten-free, not reduced gluten, completely eradicated from gluten, gluten-free products. But Hemant and I were just talking about the importance of if you have been diagnosed with gluten intolerance or sensitivity, that you actually need to think about it in terms of stages. So when the glutens are coming into your body, basically your immune system's mounting an immune response against the gluten, and often the gluten attaches to areas inside your body which can then cause damage of your own immune system on the joints or the synovial membrane within the joints in particular, or different nerves or different parts of your body. Basically your immune system, your own immune system's attacking your own body.
Skin eruptions is a classic. Yeah. So you know, it just depends upon, it will manifest differently for different people. It's just being aware that is what's happening.
Yeah, so one of the common things we see is people with skin eruptions, as Hemant was saying, but eczema diagnosis, and they've not really considered reducing or cutting out gluten.
Yes.
And that's a common thing in kids that are having toast in particular for breakfast, which they're being fed toast. They might even be fed other products on top of the toast which have gluten within them as well.
Yes.
And they're going to school with itchy skin, or they're going to bed at night time with itchy skin, or as soon as they start to get warm, their skin starts to become quite itchy, often in their elbow creases or on their stomachs or their kind of
behind the knees,
superficial areas behind the ears, around the neck area. So that's definitely something, if you've got children, young children with these kind of rashes or skin sensitivities, that you may want to start to look at. But so healing the gut is very important. So if you've had the immune attack there, you're going to have some gut damage, and before you start to look at gluten-free products, it's probably a really good idea to start to look at repairing the gut, but also look at eradicating the gluten at the same time. But which one would you do first?
I think they can be done in conjunction. Ideally, I think the first and foremost would be to get a food sensitivity test done. We offer one at both our stores, at Be Green and at Finchley, and at Harpenden and Healthy and Wise as well. So come in, get that done. It roughly takes an hour. It's by appointment. So that's a very good starting point, because then that gives you a very clear indication as to what it is that you're avoiding, and that rather than just stabbing in the dark. But yes, by all means, sort of, you know, avoid gluten, and then alongside that, take a few supplements. The ones that I would absolutely recommend is a good probiotic. and a high strength one. As you can see that says 80 billion. That's the kind of strength we're looking at. That will sort of start putting back the good bacteria back into the gut, and hopefully start rebalancing it. There, in some cases, it may not be the most appropriate. So I'm just sort of bringing out products here just to show it may not be the most appropriate person appropriate product for the right person. So it's best to have a chat about what the condition is. There are a couple of other products which are also very good. That's a combination of glucosamine with glutamine and ginger, which is very good for the digestive system. As the name suggests, intestine, it kind of helps improve the integrity of the gut. And that's another one there, which is based on digestive enzymes with the glutamine. Again, high dosages of glutamine in there, and glutamine is one of the amino acids that really helps with improving the integrity of the gut, and that's what you're looking at when you're trying to.
Just so there's no confusion, there, glutamine and gluten are different, completely different. One's a protein, one's an amino acid.
Yes, absolutely. So L-glutamine is the amino acid. Gluten is the protein that you get from grains like wheat, rye, barley,
It's pretty
etc.
important you get that right if you've got gluten intolerance, and make sure it's gluten that's not in the foods. And L-glutamine is completely, as far as I know, completely safe to take.
It would be one of the it would be one of the most beneficial products that you could take if you're intolerant. Yes, absolutely.
Good. Are there any other products that you'd recommend to people with gluten intolerance or sensitivity?
So ideally, sort of when you're going out there to buy your breakfast cereals, etc., try and look for gluten-free products, something like that. There are lots of options available these days. I mean, even if you're looking at things like biscuits and breads and cookies, etc., there are a number of products out there which will have gluten-free written on it quite boldly. And if you look at the ingredient list, there'll be no gluten in there, and those are the ones that you need to go for. And then try and maintain a diary. Stress is one of the key factors that kind of triggers a lot of things. Try and keep on top of it as much as is possible. And they just try and maintain a diary to find out what the triggers are. And by managing those triggers, you're able to manage the condition much better.
Yeah, good. So one of the things that we find at Perfect Balance Clinic, and it's really important to us that we hold true to this, is that we're really looking for an accelerated treatment pathway, and that's important because we really need to understand the whole of someone's health. So if you've been to Perfect Balance before, you may have had a diet diary sent to you, which I know is a bit frustrating to fill in because it means that you've got to document everything, but it's really useful because it gives us a real clear picture over what kind of things and what kind of symptoms are occurring after you've had particular types of meals. Now, the reason I mentioned breakfast with kids is because it tends to be the one meal in the day you can almost guarantee is going to be gluten.
Yes.
So breakfast cereals and toast in particular it is notorious for containing gluten. So it's probably one of the most common food supplements that Hemant would recommend to people is gluten-free bread, so much so that we tried to get a sample today and he's actually sold out of it.
Yes. Gluten-free bread is quite popular, and it is, believe you me, it is quite delicious. So you don't have to give up on taste. They're really nice. They may not look the most appealing, but honestly, they are. The gluten-free breads that are available today are very good to taste. And they should be used as a substitute to your normal bread.
Fantastic, good. Well, listen, Hemant, it's been absolutely fantastic coming to see you again today, and I think hopefully the viewers at home have found it very useful. But what we'd like to do today is give the chance for 5 people to come down to have one of the intolerance tests for gluten. So if you're suffering with any joint pains, if you're going to see an osteopath or physiotherapist and you feel like that you're not quite getting better, it's really a good idea to come down, and certainly we'll probably be stealing those 5 appointments for our own clients, but we'll be sending them and getting them to leave details in the box below, so that they can be one of the lucky 5 people to come down and speak to Hemant and the team down at either Healthy and Wise in Harpenden High Street or Be Green in
Finchley, North London. Yes.
Brilliant. And Hemant, what's the telephone number for to get hold of you if you need to get hold of you?
The Finchley number is 0208 343 1002. And at Harpenden, we're available on 01582 761 435.
Brilliant. So if you need to come and speak to someone, call those telephone numbers, leave your details in the box below. Remember, 5 people only. And if you need to ask any questions, just leave details in the box below. And someone from Perfect Balance Clinic will be able to get back to you as soon as possible. But for now, it's bye-bye from me.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.